about Sister Mildred, I thought about going down all the women in the Bible and thinking about how she was like some of them. I thought about the very first one. The very first one. You know her name, don't you? Her name was Eve. There's not a lot said about her. She gets a lot of flack for getting us all in trouble in the garden. But if you read it carefully, you find out that she got tricked. What happened there? Mm-hmm. But when I think about her, the two most important things that were said about Eve was that she was first of all a wife. God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam. And while he slept, he opened up his side and he took out a rib. You've read that, you know the story. God closed up the womb. And from that rib, he made a woman. And he brought her to Adam. And Adam saw her and said, she's now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. And God said, now these two shall be made one. And he instituted marriage there in the garden. The first husband and the first wife. Not just man and woman, but husband and wife. And every one of us who are here today can testify that if Sister Mildred was one thing, she was a good wife. She was faithful to her husband. She loved her husband through thick and thin. They went through, like every family, a lot of good times, high times, happy times. They had burdens, they had heartaches, they had troubles too, but they stuck together. Yeah. And she stood by his side no matter what, and fulfilled that vow until death do us part. And so she was a good and faithful wife. And then Eve was known for one other thing, and that was she was a mother, the mother of all living. Every one of us can trace our existence back to her. And every wife that God is privileged to have children have that opportunity to be a faithful mother. And certainly I think Mildred was a faithful mother. She was a good mother. How many were here last night when you saw the video presentation? How many babies did she hold? And she rocking those babies and holding those babies, and there's just something special about a mother and a good mother, and having a mother's love and a mother's care. And so she was like Eve, the very first mother. She was a good wife, and she was a good mother. I thought about another woman in the Bible, the virtuous woman. Proverbs chapter 31. And you're probably familiar with this passage too. It begins in verse 10 with a question. Who can find a virtuous woman? Yeah, maybe we should put that on the endangered list. The protected list. Because there are not too many of them around anymore, it seems. But a virtuous woman. And every woman has that privilege and is called upon to become a virtuous woman. The Bible talks about the virtuous woman, and it says, for her price is far above rubies. She's worth more than silver and gold. She's worth more than diamonds and pearls. She's worth more because a virtuous woman has something that money cannot buy. And if a man has a good wife, and if children have a good mother, they have something that money cannot buy. They have something precious, something that only God can give. God is at work in the life of a good mother, and God is at work in a virtuous woman. And so we've all witnessed and testified that we've seen God at work in Sister Mildred's life.